I guess the great thing about advertising is that, well, everyone assumes all we are is flogging products, which we do flog some products, but we also have the power to actually save lives. Like a recent campaign with John Kerwin's depression has saved lives, and I guess it's wonderful to be part of something like that. I guess the art room at school was always my bag. Loved hanging out there, became louder, more noisy. It was where I felt most at home, so I always knew I wanted to do something with art, and I'd heard about this thing called commercial art, so it seemed a really natural thing to get into, and that's really how it all launched off. I came out of tech and just had studied graphic design and wanted to draw cool things and perhaps be an illustrator or something like that. Thought advertising was a bunch of wankers, actually, I must admit, at that stage. So I went into the design side, worked in design for about 5 or 6 years, but what I really felt was like, I guess, ideas what really buzzed me out, and the design wasn't so much about that, and it was more about precision and colour and harmony and that type of thing, where I was kind of more, say, excited about ideas and concepts. So eventually I made the leap, and I leapt into a tiny little studio, I guess ad agency you could call it, in Newmarket. It really was a nothing little place, but that was really the first foot into advertising, and from there haven't really looked back. We're working with something really interesting at the moment, and it's a campaign we're doing for the SPCA and our client Mini, and we've been able to get dogs to actually be the world's first dogs to drive cars. But the great thing underneath that, the nugget, is that there's a real insight that SPCA dogs are just as smart as thoroughbreds. So to bring that thought to life, we have exaggerated that and got them to drive cars, but the campaign thought there is dogs this smart deserve a home. So there really is a great strategy that idea, as wacky as it is, built on. One of the big things that happened in my career was actually going to the UK and working in advertising there. I guess I really wanted to test my mettle in an overseas market. I spent about 6 years in London. I guess for me that was really great at crafting my thinking, and also perhaps thinking more in an international space and not so localised. And I think I came back a far better and well-versed creative from that. So that was, for me, that was a real turning point. I remember being in London and winning my first gold and going up on stage in an award show. It was in the middle of the night, or it must have been the middle of the morning here, and going, Dad, I've just won a gold medal. And I remember I was just high as a kite from the euphoria of it. From that, I guess my career has moved into judging at awards, and that has been another real highlight. For example, this year I've got to judge the D&ADs in London, and I've got to go to Cannes in the south of France and do the Cannes Lions. These are kind of once-in-a-lifetime opportunities, and you kind of slap your chin really while you're there and go, crikey, this is just amazing. For me, a couple of highlight campaigns are when the campaign goes beyond advertising, and I think that's really exciting, where you don't know what's going to happen next. You start this little nugget or ignite this little fire, and it takes off. A great example was the Yellow Tree House. We came up with this nugget of a thought, we pitched it to the client, somehow they bought it, and eventually even I got to eat it up at that restaurant, and you kind of pinch yourself thinking, wow, this is what I do for a job. People are actually having dinner at this restaurant up a tree, and it really was a highlight for me. What's really exciting and what I'm interested in now is campaigns that do make a difference to the world. I know that sounds really corny, but perhaps we could use advertising for some good and actually not just move fridges, but really help the world be a better place. And I think that would be kind of cool. The John Kerwin depression work, I think, is some of the one of the greatest campaigns to come out of New Zealand really in the last 10 years. It's when advertising is going well beyond advertising, and it really is changing and helping save lives. people from NASA come down and actually go through the program because the thinking is so robust behind it. There's crisis centres behind that, and if little flags are going off, then they can step in and intervene, etc. I guess it was a world-leading e-therapy program brought to the world by New Zealand, and that's really cool. Often there's days where I'm thinking, crikey, I get paid for this. This is nuts. And I think, I love the thought of, say, from a creative point of view, often you get to sit at your desk with your feet on your table and a pen and a pad, and that's it. And that's the most powerful place that you can be, is that in that idea generation, that you've got an empty pad, you've got a black pen, and you're going for it. And I think that the fact that someone's going to pay you to do that is pretty awesome. If someone asked me, should someone enter the ad industry, be a creative, even be an account service, I would say, just an emphatic yes, yes, yes. So moving back from that, I think you need to be enthusiastic, get in front of CDs, get an internship in an ad agency, pester them, show them great ideas. You've actually got to be confident. If you can't, fake it if you don't feel it. There's no point going into an ad agency and just sitting in the back corner in the shadows and doing 2, 3, 4 weeks and then quietly disappearing. Make yourself, in a good way, hopefully be yourself, but make yourself be noticed. Make people want to give you briefs. Start on that road, and then just never stop with the passion. Keep being excited about what you do, because you're going to love what you do. It's awesome, and so I cannot think of too many careers that are quite as cool, actually. Tony Clewett, Executive Creative Director, Draft FCB Auckland.